stuck in Diamond, and then you start playing Warhammer instead.
Exactly.
I know.
It happens to the best of us.
Does.
Let's see. There you are. In the bottom left side, we have ourselves the Blue Protoss fighting for Basilisk Gaming. It is Trigger.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the German Protoss player, the green Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Jumy.
Both had their metal tested already in a lot of PvPs right here. So they're warmed up, ready to go. And the Protoss Rage is right underneath their fingernails. So here we are, straight off the bat. That is not a pylon to just get in his head. No, sir.
I love that Jumy, he GLHF'd after he threw down the pylon. Let's go, as we are setting up here for a proxy gateway right outside the natural of Trigger.
That could be tough. Trigger, he doesn't quite take the read. I wanted to say bait, but it's not a bait this time around. That pylon is not there for a very, very different reason this time.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit concerned. So from the side of Trigger, I don't know if you noticed, Trigger, he went for a single gas opener. He went for a gate into Nexus before the Cybercore. Very greedy build here out of Trigger. This is a little bit more standard on Ultralove just because of the ramp coming into the natural, so it's a little bit safer to set up on the low ground. But Trigger went for a very economic build, and this is going to work out wonders here for Jumy.
Yeah, you might want to try to keep that probe on the... Ooh, actually... Trigger running away with that other probe as well. I'm not sure what that movement was about. Why did he move that? Was he was checking for a proxy, wasn't he? And he didn't see. He went the wrong way.
Well, he was chasing the probe. He was chasing the probe. The probe did lure him out towards the left-hand side instead. The first zealot has arrived. Stalkers are going to be amassing. Now, Jumy is not going for a one base all-in. Still aggressive, don't get me wrong, but Jumy is actually expanding.
All right. Now you should definitely know 2 shield batteries in production. One getting cancelled there because, well, again. Actually, Trigger, I think he might just be okay here.
Yeah, Trigger, he's holding for the time being. I mean, he's going to be overwhelmed by some of the production, but already a couple hits going up does force Jumy back. Trigger, he's holding his own, and again, there's a reason why we see these more economic builds on Ultralove. The ramp, the high ground, the elevation does actually give you quite a big advantage defensively here for Trigger.
Yeah, for sure. You can be in front of those gateways in the Cybercore. Still get a couple of extra, well, first shots off. Shield batteries there. I mean, yeah, it makes you wonder where Jumy should be trying to take this from here, right? Because one advantage is kind of that Trigger is pinned to this location, right? So the map's kind of open, except for the natural base of Jumy. There's a pylon being locked in. Something to keep tabs on what's coming out of gateways.
Nah, we did. Don't worry about it.
Why did he put that pylon there? Why?
I think he was trying to lock in the probes in the mineral line, but I don't think he was quite able to pull it off. So unfortunate. As you can do that specifically for that, like, for that center patch. You can lock them in.
Right. That has not happened yet to me.
Okay. Thankfully.
People aren't good enough. Someone's gonna snipe me on ladder now when they see me. They're like, okay, this is your time. I'll let you experience it.
Oh no.
Robo coming in here for Trigger. He set up shop there. The Twilight Council for both players, either about to be ready or ready as well. Trigger just in a little bit of a advantageous position, as they say.
Yes, Trigger, he defends very well back at home. He's across the map. He forces the full wall off here as well. And as you mentioned, he's getting into that immortal production that much faster.
Yeah. I don't think he's made all the plays he needs to in this game just quite yet. There's definitely still a place for Jumy here in this game, regardless of that gateway going down with the pylon there momentarily. He's grabbing that third base. If he can contain Trigger a little bit longer, that would be lovely.
Yeah.
Get some more defensive setup for that third, right? Try to ride that high of map dominance.
Yeah, map control, map dominance, 100% right,
Map
Jumy.
control, that's the word, yeah.
As he is containing Trigger. Trigger, meanwhile, he's throwing extra gateways. He's getting to six gateways here for Trigger. Blink is on the way, Prism as well. This setup here from Trigger, on the one hand, yes, he's being contained, but it's almost looking like he's setting up for a 2-base all-in.
It does kind of have that feel, doesn't it? Might have to strike through the Stalkers then. Blink is about to be ready, so there's no way Jumy isn't going to get himself out of here as soon as he kind of sees these numbers. Might kill one or two units before he does, but no, he's playing it more safe than that. Oh, you know what? Going to reinforce here.
Yeah, so the gateway is
going to do is try to get behind this army, right? If it moves out any further, try to get behind and then just walk into the natural.
Yeah, we could like force a base raid or just force the recall back home. For now, it does try to pivot around. Yeah. He's keeping Trigger busy. Meanwhile, another gateway being set up for a counterattack for aggressive warpins.
I think this is great play for Jumy. He's just kind of like dancing with the blue army. I don't think you want to engage it necessarily, but as long as this ball of green Stalkers is here, it's very uncomfortable for Trigger to move any further away from his base right now. Yeah. Right, because he can just rotate behind and he can just jump onto that probe line when Trigger's not even halfway across the map yet, you know?
Oh no, yeah, exactly, because we do dive in. Prism almost gets one shot. The War Prism barely does survive, but it's so close to going down. Trigger has to be so careful to babysit that War Prism as he does finally break out and he's forcing Jumy back.
Yeah, he's pushing them forwards. He has enough Stalkers really to kind of make two groups right now. Jumy's still trying to get the rotation going, get some of his Stalkers stuck. But will now have the Watchtower. Oh dear, that is just so many Stalkers available here with the Immortal as well for Trigger. And Trigger, the first heavy pounces on that third base. 13 probes falling. Jumy, I don't know if he has the numbers here.
Exactly. I mean, he commits to the base trade, and Jumy, he is wreaking havoc at the natural base, but as you're mentioning, Trigger has just such a large army pushing to the natural as well. There's a wall of Stalkers for it. Jumy is trying to hold on, trying to trade as best he can, trying to stem the tide. Another Warpin is coming in, but Trigger still has an overwhelming force.
He's trading out all right. The blue Stalkers very preoccupied with a couple of gateways there as well, but they are melting through. Doesn't matter that they lose a bit of inefficiency there in the overall fight because they just have so many of themselves. A recall right now. Jumy committed to the fight in the main base. Can he hold?
The Immortal is exposed to the Immortal is going to be targeted down. Not too bad. Meanwhile, the Stalker count is still in favor of Trigger, and he doesn't have to go in. Trigger, he killed the natural, he killed the third, and Trigger he still has both bases.
20 to 11 probes. Yes, double the worker count, even though they're both abysmal numbers. Jumy now in a position where you're scratching his head, not quite sure what to do really. Remakes the Nexus. I think that's an okay shout. But whatever you do, it's gonna be tough for him.
Yeah, it really is.
He decides.
It's one of those things with Jumy, he's up in probes, but he can't really make use of that economy here. Like, he's still stuck in the one base. He has to counterattack in some way, but the army is still in favor of Trigger. He can maybe try to out-control Trigger. It's still going to be difficult, though. It's still going to be a tough ask. He's trying to dive in.
Okay. Keeping Trigger there. I don't think it works out the way anymore as it did previously, right? This engagement where he tries to just keep this army here because he no longer has the base advantage. How to do this? I mean, Dark Templar. They seem quite far away, and there is a robotics facility available for Trigger, of course, so even that seems like a stretch. Even if he could get like the Dark Shrine right now instantaneously, it probably wouldn't help him out too much. What else is there? What else is there?
Yeah, I mean, rushing into DTs, rushing into disruptors, of course. Potentially,
I can see disruptors still getting something done here. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like teching in a bit of a weirder way could try to bring him back, or of course, like blinking into the main, like trying to counterattack, then recalling back home, trying to get some kind of economic damage. But as you're mentioning, right, the pressure is on Jumy, right? Like Trigger, he can just chill. He can just chill. He can just rebuild. The Jumy has to do something here to bounce back.
Yeah, going for the Templar Archives. Probably just a strong force of Zealot Archons. It can do well. But I don't know. I don't know if it's swingy enough, you know, if it has enough potential to fight against a higher supply army.
Yeah, it's hard to say as a Trigger, he does catch the army, and this is still going to be going in favor of Trigger, just chasing down the Stalkers. Jumy has to get the hell out of here, and he gets caught out.
Yeah, it's 81 army supply versus 46, almost doubling right now. Jumy has gotten back on the work account, however, so at the moment, we're again in a position where if Jumy manages to keep this game going, eventually he will start to recuperate, he will start to replenish his numbers. But as we have arrived in that part of this game, again, we see Trigger starting to move across the map. He's ready to put a stop to that straight away.
Yeah, he just rallies everything across. Again, it's going to be 36 Stalkers to the 14 Stalkers of Jumy. Does have a couple of Archons, but they're more ideal against Zealots, not as ideal against Stalkers. And Trigger, he can't just force his way up this ramp. He can force his way through. GG gets called, and Trigger will take game number 1.
Solid stuff. Solid stuff. Holding the aggressive, cheesy kind of gateway at the front door. Honestly, I thought that would do more just because of how greedy that was defensively, right? Just going for the Nexus before the Cyber Core, and about as greedy as you can really get.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed when we saw the pylon, I assumed it was gonna be like a proxy robo and a one base all in. Like I thought we were gonna send it. Instead, it was like more of a half measure, right, out of Jumy, going for just the gateway, then expanding himself, and likewise, he was never able to really overwhelm Trigger the way that I'm sure he was hoping. So, yeah, as you were pointing out, like the initial opener out of Jumy left much to be desired.
It happens. It happens.
And with that, we're now getting into game 2. As a reminder, if we didn't make it clear, because it's the grand finals, not a best of 3, best of 5.
Gotta run with the punches sometimes, you know. Sometimes you throw a swing and it just doesn't connect the way you want it to. Anyway. Here we are in the top right side, the blue Protoss player fighting for Team Basilisk. It is Trigger.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the German Protoss player, the red Protoss streamer zone. It is Jumy. Sometimes you get the layup, you come in with the 3-pointer and you fumble the ball, right? Sometimes you fumble, you know, the aliens, they get your DNA, and then bam, suddenly, Space Jam. It happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've seen that documentary. I've seen it, yeah.
I've seen it reenacted in YouTube YouTube essay formats.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they play basketball. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But we have to both players this time around opening up safe. That's you know, it's the less enthusiastic way to open up, but it's probably the smarter way. Feel the waters here a little bit. Today we haven't seen these two head off the bat with this. There's a kind of the same openness, and you know, I always like it when they do in a way in a mirror matchup, because then you kind of really get a feeling of what the state of the player is that day. You know,
for sure.
Just something. What do you think about this? Because I feel like in a lot of other sports, it's quite often like described with like they're talking about conditioning, and they're talking about like, you know, the right mindset or something like that, or just having a little virus in their system or something like that, like the state of the player. I feel like it doesn't. I don't know if it has a taboo on it as much in StarCraft or something like that, but I don't know. Maybe it's just like maybe I'm on Reddit too much, and I just read too many people anticipating players to be like perfect every single time, and like you know, machines that have built up a repertoire, like a script now that they just execute perfectly every single time. You know, sometimes you can have a bit of a cramp in your hand, right? And all of a sudden that could influence your StarCraft game. You could. There's so many things.
100%.
You could have had a bit less sleep that day, right? And anything could happen, and you could be a bit less aware of the minimap. But like, I asked you a question, and then I started talking for 2 minutes. So what do you think about this?
I mean, it's one of those things where I 100% agree, right? So, we see it very often, especially in the online weeklies, because there are certain top tier players that play so often. I'm referring to players like Dark, players like Hero, players like Clem, and Max Pack. Specifically, those 4 players play in everything. They play in every weekly tournament, and there's a lot of variance in how they perform. And again, a big reason for that is, right, their form, right, on the day, you know, and that's what the weekly tournaments often come down to, is who is the stronger player on the day. It's so different as well compared to a more prepared formats, like in a premier event where players in the lead up, you know, they have like weeks to prepare for specific players, for specific matches. They rest up ahead of time, they acclimate to the time zone. In weeklies, it's none of that, mate. You just it's you on the day, you know. Are you on it or are you not? It's a very different kind of vibe, and you get to experience that a little more.
Yeah, it might have something to do with like just it being an online thing as well. So we are seeing some units moving across. I'll get back to that. I'll explain more of that point if you want later down, if you ask about it. But right now we do have an Immortal, 4 Stalkers coming forwards with this Warp Prism. This could pack a bit of a punch, as there's no defensive structure yet set up here for Jumy. Trying his best to hold on. Force fields aren't that impactful with the Warp Prism around.
Exactly. Behind this, it was a robot opener out of Trigger. He is forcing his way through. The shield batteries are helping, but that one Immortal, he doesn't care about your shield batteries. The boys are being pulled. Jumy trying to hold on. He does die for the Prism.
Okay, gets that Prison out of probes, coming for that Immortal with no place to go. Only 2 probes falling. That's pretty good. And he holds steadily. 41 probes remaining in the banks. That is not too shabby.
Yeah, very committed play there by Trigger. He was hoping to break his opponent then and there. Jumy, he holds, and what does he do? Takes a third. Takes a third base immediately to maintain that economic lead.
Grabs it. And he will hold on to it. Little observer here for Trigger is going to catch wind of it, so he knows in what position he's in and what's coming up next. He even sees the Stalkers moving out on the map. And Jumy's setting up a point of reinforcements there, so he's gonna, you know, secure this third base with a bit of aggression on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this before. The goal here for Jumy should just be to contain. He could try to break in, but pushing into Immortals and into shield batteries is not going to be easy. But the Immortal is on its own. The shields are triggered, and there is potential for Jumy to dive.
Up. Hallucinated Phoenix. Oh my goodness, that is aggressive. Just barely. Come on, one more time. Does get it. Couple of Stalkers bite the dust, but getting that Immortal, that is very important to keep those numbers low here. If you want to contain your opponent in this sense, in particular.
Yeah, exactly. Once a Trigger hits critical mass of 3-4 Immortals, then he can break out and expand, but until then, he's stuck at home.
Exactly, 2 right now, and he has to keep them spread out as well, of course. It's a tough situation for Trigger to deal with, but Jumy is walking this line quite carefully.
That he is, as Jumy again just looking to contain, doesn't look to dive in, is saturating his third base behind this. Dark Shrine on the way from Trigger.
Once again, we are going to get ourselves some stealth, boys. A staple right now, it seems, in the PvP matchup.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you said it before, right? It's one of those ways where you can catch up if you are behind. And Trigger, he is behind, right? He's down almost 20 workers. He's down a base. He's down in the economy. He is committed. He has to do something crazy to catch back up.
Exactly. It's a shame he lost that War Prism earlier on, actually. Will need to get himself a new one. That is just because of, he has to thank Jumy for that one, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. As Jumy is now reaping the rewards from that third base. We have Gateways finishing up. He's getting into charge behind this. Meanwhile, Trigger does actually catch Jumy off guard, picking up a couple of Stalkers. Not too bad. Likewise, Trigger, he does stumble across the proxy, so he's going to be able to clean this up as well. And Jumy has to get ready back at home with that charged army.
Seeing that timing of the robot makes me wonder if Jumy maybe overestimated his position right there. They thought, you know what, with a good reinforcements point, I might be able to break him here. But yeah, now, well, he does have his robo. He does have an observer ready to go. He's got himself the Archons in production as well. Will take a moment, but I mean, even cannons are in production. It's going to come down to these DTs, isn't it? How well do these DTs avoid that observer, avoid those cannons? Actually, he's just making Archons with them.
Oh, he does make Archons back at home, but he's got 4 DTs across the map in that prism. And here we go. We have 1 DT towards the third base. We have the rest headed towards the main. There is a cannon in the main base. There's a cannon main, cannon the natural. Jumy reading this very well.
Oh, wow. A quick spot on that War Prism right there. The Stark is warped in. He's going to try to get on top of that cannon, but a great ult position for those probes. He's going to stop this dead in its tracks without achieving much of anything.
Yeah, exactly. Jumy, he defends back at home. He shuts this out. For the most part, there's still 1 DT getting a pylon in the main base, which can't quite be stopped. But here we go. The Observer has arrived, and Trigger, he doesn't commit to any kind of push. He is trying to reestablish, or I should say, establish his own third.
He needs it. He needs it desperately. He needs to fill it up with probes as quickly as he can, and hope that Jumy won't be pushing the issue anytime soon right now. Although the immortal numbers are looking pretty for Trigger. The upgrades, actually, well, he's getting +3 right now. It's going to be a while. Thought for a moment he may have an advantage there, but unfortunately, no. Jumy just seeming to be either tied up or ahead with most metrics.
Yeah, exactly. The DTs, they had to get more done. Again, if they weren't cannons in position, then maybe we could have brought it back here. But again, the cannons were ready. Jumy, he was prepared, he was secure, and now here comes the push. Jumy, he's up 40 supply with a massive amount of charge dots and Archons.
He needs that choke right there. If he can get in a good position here, needs to find it. I think that's probably the best one he can get at the moment. Alright, really commit. I don't know if he should. I don't think he should, right? I don't think Jumy should do this. Correct? I mean, that's a lot of Archons. Oh, okay. Now he might.
Yeah. He can collapse
now
on this.
Now he can do this.
You're like, can he do this? Then he splits up. You're like, oh, he's got this. He's
okay. I trust this now. I trust this. Look at that, man. The surround, it's so strong.
Yeah, he collapses in from multiple angles. Archon Stealth, they just collapse on the main army here. The Immortals are exposed, and the Immortals are going down one after the other.
Slapping down Rhodos Justice. GG is called. Jumy takes a W.
Yeah, GG. Jumy does take it, does tie things up. We have a series. We have a back and forth.
It's always nice in the finals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Also, when it comes to the previous line of thought that you had, not gonna lie, as soon as you said, like, you know, like I've seen, like, you know, in competitive real sports, when it comes to player conditioning, you know, I've seen on that documentary, you know, when the aliens, when they take your DNA, the players, you know, suddenly, like, you know, they're looking more fatigued, you know, they're not quite what they used to be, they're not quite at their best, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen that as well. I can confirm.
We've witnessed.
There you go. We found.
I think it's an interesting thing because, like, if you're in an online setting like this, right, it's a lot more difficult to kind of get a read on the player, the individual, and I think it's just more obfuscated, which makes it easier to ignore it as a thing.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely can be. It's definitely something interesting to think about as well. You know, it's something that's brought up very often, at least when it comes to like certain events that are running that are not lined up with the player's proper sleep schedule. Like Bjorn's an animal. We've casted many an NA weekly where Bjorn rocks up and Bjorn played like 3 tournaments before it. I'm messaging him. I'm like, mate, did you sleep like in between tournaments? He's like, mate, I'm so tired. Like, feels like, mate, I just played like 12 hours like straight of StarCraft. I'm gonna keep this going. But I was like, oh my god, like the stamina, it's insane.
He's an animal. Yeah, he's an absolute animal. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, some people just don't break. It looks like. Anyway, in the bottom left side, there is a man who's blue and Protoss. He's Team Basilisk. Trigger.
Let's go. And spawning in the right hand corner, we have the green Protoss player for Streamer Zone from the land of Germany. It is Jumy.
Someone wants you to take that DNA now.
Oh no. I start. Calm down, Papi. Calm down. Oh my god.
How well do you play basketball?
Oh no. It has to be the same like storyline for the second movie, right? Like, is it also like a basketball that like takes their powers? Is that a thing? They do that again.
I don't remember.
Okay. you're like, man, it was not a memorable movie. It's like, okay.
I don't think so.
No? Mate, that's like the core part of the movie.
I don't think so. No, again, it was a second screen kind of situation.
Yeah,
paid full attention to it.
Uh-huh.
And the plot just didn't really grab me that much.
It's fair enough. Let's go, as this is what we wanted out of game number 1 on Ultra Love. Not a proxy gateway next to the natural. Instead, in the dead center of the map, we have a proxy robo. This is going to be the one based all-in out of Trigger to take a lead in the series. Let's go.
Could be a scary moment there.
Oh.
Twilight Council is in the back, trying to keep it hidden.
Yeah, so Trigger...
Both players trying to do some mind games here.
Yeah, so Trigger's going for the one base all-in. Jumy going for a Twilight Council before expansion, so really fast blink here from Jumy.
We'll have to see.
Oh no.
It will be blink.
He is also setting up a proxy across the map as well. Like both players are playing one base. They're both being hyper aggressive in their own ways.
It depends on when one of them starts to press the issue, really. Because if one of them is just in the middle of the map still, that could be devastating. So far, Trigger, it looks like he will be the first to pounce.
Yeah. Is going to be popping in. Meanwhile, yeah, as you mentioned, Trigger, he does have that first immortal. He's going to be committing across the map. The Prism is on the way to reinforce as well. There's full off back at home, and Trigger, he's pushing in. Jumy back at home. Blink is not going to be a factor. No, not in the first fight.
Oh dear, coming in, has to pull the probes right now. Only 3 of them falling, but that is some hurt being put on the green Protoss units right here. That Immortal, he does carry his name well at the moment. Especially with the Warp Prism now to ferry him along. Granting that vision.
Yeah, I mean, it gives vision.
He needs to have those perfect shots.
Yeah, and now he has his own blink essentially, right? Not aggressive, but he has like his own defensive blink. He can micro back. He's building up his immortal count. Second immortal has arrived, waddling across the map as well. Jumy trying to hold on. Thankfully, that proxy gateway is actually impacting this as he has extra warp pins back at home. He has a 4-gate setup. Up.
Ooh, very aggressive. Doesn't target the immortal just quite yet. Needs to take down the Warp Prism. There we go. But that was costly, man. That was incredibly costly.
Exactly, but the force field, he does actually cut off the army in half. The Immortals are not going to be a part of this. Stalkers, they fight head-on against the other Stalkers. Shield battery is out of energy, though, and Trigger, he's breaking through the force field. It is soon going to run out, but there's a second force field.
It doesn't seem that salvageable at the moment. That force field is going to drop. The Immortals will get themselves in the main base. Actually steps out of here.
Trigger pulling away. Jumy overreacting. Pulled the boys for a moment there. He was a little bit terrified. There's the energy overcharge. He's got another force field.
Trigger either wary of another force field hitting him or... Oh no, he's on the ramp. Oh, he didn't see. Oh, that is unfortunate. Didn't quite expect the re-entry of the main base there. And well, Trigger takes game number 3.
GG. Jumy, he had the sentry, he had the energy, but unfortunately he was not quite paying attention. He was focusing on his own stalkers, sniping the robot in the center of the map, and he looks away at the wrong moment, misses the force field as well, and Trigger takes a lead.
Setting himself on match point.
Yeah, he is on match point. One more game, one more win is all that Trigger needs here to claim the series. Meanwhile, the pressure is now on Jumy to bounce back and to force the ace match.
He tried some aggression of his own with a proxy gateway. He got proxy roboed.
Are you insinuating something, Kozan? Do you want Jumy to proxy the robo instead? Is that what you're asking for?
Maybe. Maybe I do. I mean, it is just so strong, isn't it? It is such a strong, volatile attack, to be fair. And it can go horribly wrong. But when it doesn't, it just works out incredibly well. Anyway, regardless, let me double check if I'm on your camera. Here we are. In the bottom right side, 2 points on the board. He's fighting for Team Basilisk, carrying the blue collars. It is Trigger.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents just sending his probe immediately across the map. Let's go! Has he answered what we've been asking for? He's setting up a proxy, the German Protoss. It is a Jumy. See, this is the best part of PvP.
Heard it.
Let's go.
Ooh, okay. 2 gateways straight at the front door.
No gases.
We'll be committing a forge there as well.
Yeah. No
That's
gases.
as you get.
Yeah, two gates. Zealot into cannon rush.
Is Trigger gonna be prepared? Look at that probe movement now. You came back from the... He's like, no, this is a normal probe.
Yeah.
A normal timing. Don't worry about it.
That was a big...
This is some...
Wait, that was a big brain move.
Genius. Yeah, really, truly something. It's such a tiny movement, but it worked out perfectly for him there. Trigger's still checking places on the map, however. It's the wrong places. And there's the proxy.
Jumy with the spray. Cannons are on the way. Trigger, he sees. The gateway is within range. He sees the cannons. Trigger, who was setting his own proxy across the map, but now he has to deal with what's coming his way here as cannons are on the way.
Trigger managed to block off the probe, however. There's no pylon whatsoever on the high ground. So the cannons will need the zealot or the probe on the high ground here. If there's some units that can force them backwards.
But this pylon's going to go down. The pylons are falling. The cannons are within range. They can shell away at the gateway as well. Sentries are coming, but sentries, are they going to be enough here to deal with these zealots?
Yeah, no, the sentries here, I don't think they were the right choice, unfortunately. They could have been if it was just a little bit sooner, and they could have kept those zealots further away.
Oh.
Right now, the front door is going to get busted open.
Yeah, nice force field saving the gateway, but the pylon is going down. Depowers one of the gateways as well, and now he's going for the other gateway. Can he bring it down to 2 zealots? And the sentries, they're going to be able to deal with the zealots slowly over time. Another force field.
Oh man, this is a gateway getting dangerously low right now. Another cannon on the high ground being warped in. Time is ticking for Trigger. Needs to act quickly.
I mean,
but I don't think there's a lot left to do.
Yeah, there's a cannon in the main as well. The Zealots, they dive in. Shield batteries, they do hold the line, but there's no production. That was the last gateway going down.
The sentries, they're invulnerable, however. And the probe making new structures has come down, so there's now no longer high ground vision. Jumy will have to find another avenue of attack, as long as Trigger's on top of his force fields.
Yeah, okay, so Trigger, he's holding.
Okay.
He's holding onto the main base. He's rebuilding his gateway. He's rebuilding his 2 gates, I should say, getting up to a 3-gate setup. Jumy, does he expand? What's concerning to me, Cybercore. He proxies his Cybercore as well, so he is so committed out here. Like, we can't just expand and abandon this location.
Oh, no. I think we need a Nexus there as well at some point.
True, just yeah, take
so
the space.
So we can recall back and forth. Yeah.
Yes, Trigger is scouting, he's with the hallucination, checks the 3rd base, checks the other location, and does confirm the proxy.
Such a weird place for this game to be. The 2 adepts now fighting the 3 sentries. I'm not sure how that engagement goes entirely.
Yeah, the sentries, they hold their own adepts, they shade into the main. Probe's going to be going down, but ooh, one adept does fall. And Trigger, he's stabilizing, right? He's stabilizing. He has an Immortal. He has a War Prism on the way as well. Like, Trigger has an army. Jumy, this is all he has. 2 Zealots and a Stalker. Warpgate isn't even done.
Behind this, he's trying to get himself a Stargate, and I'm wondering what else he could do. If this Bastion falls, that is so much of his investments down the toilet. And he can kiss this game goodbye, and this is his last life in the finals. He needs to keep these structures alive. By whatever means he can. The Stargate, if he can get himself an Oracle here, maybe even a Void Ray, maybe like anything, honestly, could help tremendously. The Phoenix, yes, that's perfectly fine as well. Get that lift up on that Immortal as well.
Yeah, 100%. Anything here, really. There it is. Phoenix is on the way, as you did mention. Meanwhile, the army diving forward, trying to dive on that prism. But last Trigger, he is very careful here with his control. He does pull away.
Ooh, okay, does stay on top of the micro here, and that's just rough to see. All the Stalkers are gonna fall. The Bastion of Green will be destroyed, and with it, all the hopes for Jumy. And GG is called. Trigger takes game number 4 and wins the finals here.
GG. Good luck in the next round as Trigger is our champion. Trigger, he will claim the series. Well played. Jumy, he fought back. He fought his heart out. Tried to cheese the hell out of him as well, but unfortunately, it was so close. Trigger, he bought enough time, got the immortal. He survived. He wins. GG.
GG. A lovely day. A lovely day of sparkling tunas.
Ah, exactly. Trigger, he is this week's Sparkling Tuna. Ah, let's go. And thank you so much as well, Kozan, for joining me. I know that you're maybe not as used to this like more online Open Cup format, but kind of like a marathon of matches, marathon of series after series after series, and a lot of PvPs as well.
Yep. Some lesser known territories for me, and yeah, I can feel. I've just not casted as much recently. It felt like a marathon. It wasn't that long overall, but it felt a lot longer to me. It's impressive. It's impressive you keep this up all the time, Light. Hats off to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Kozan, and thank you so much for joining me as well. It's always a blast to have a fellow caster alongside me to join in and to discuss the intricacies of Space Jam. It's very important.
Yeah, man, I had a great time with you. Thank you so much for all your hospitality and just being your lovely self, man. I can always get some great loves from you. So yeah, it's very much appreciated.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it myself. I appreciate the kind words. And also, for those that are curious, I'm sure there are a lot of people that are tuning into the Cranky Ducklings. They're like, hold on, I have not heard this voice before. Kozan, why don't you let the people know who you are and where they can find you as well?
All right. Yeah, we do have some streams with professional Korean players. A lot of high-tier matches that happen on the Supers channels. You can see them a couple of times coming around on the Team Liquid pages. We have a group of 3 people, and we cast some high-tier StarCraft 2 in our lovely, idiotic ways that we do. And we try to have a great time with it, right? We got the Italian Echo that is providing great top commentary, Queen Azilis and myself. We all have our own day that we stream on, or we present it on the Twitter pages and stuff like that, and then we just do a best of 7 between 2 players. It could be Dark, it could be Bjorn, it could be Hero. Most of these heavy hitter Korean names we invite and give them some scraps to fight over, right, and get usually pretty amazing matches. But anyway, it's on Super Sevens. That's the name. Mm-hmm. That's the precise name. I'm rambling again. But yeah, it's Super Sevens. If you enjoyed my rambling or my something else, I don't know, but I'm there most of the time. I'm feeling a bit tired here today as well. But it's okay. It's okay. I had you with me, and that was a lovely time. Yeah, I appreciate it.
We got through it. We got through it together, mate. We got through it together, and I did just post a link in the chat. So again, Kozan usually casting with his team of casters, not on Twitch. It is on a different platform, mainly a Korean streaming platform, but still, friendly to international viewers. And the cast is in English, and as you mentioned, just plenty of amazing matches. We actually go over the results whenever we have the podcast. We do have like a weekly talk show. We go over all the events of the week, and yeah, whether it's the Super 7 show matches, whether it's some of the other invitationals, always a lot of really good matches happening over there. So do check it out. Do watch it live over on the Suit platform.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right, lovely.
It's good stuff.
And Trigger, congratulations.
Oh, of course. Congratulations to Trigger, our champion for this week. This is a weekly tournament, by the way. I do apologize to those in the chat that have been looking for more Sparkling Tuna Cup action. Kozan, I'm sure you're aware of this as well, but we have been having a bit of a break with our tournaments just because of Masters Coliseum, Little League Cup. There's just been a lot of StarCraft going on, so we did kind of postpone our weeklies for the month of January, but now we're back. We're back on a weekly basis.
We're a lucky bunch of nerds. We truly are. even looking now at all the stuff coming up there, it's just an endless array of great StarCraft 2. This Thursday, actually, we'll have Creator versus Beyond as well. I'll be there casting that one as well. A best of 7 coming up.
Let's go. Again, you want to check out Creator versus Beyond in a best of 7? Then check it out over on the Super platform, over on Super 7. Do you know who you're going to be casting with, Kozan? Do you know?
I will have a solo cast.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yes, we usually have solo cast, and then we just, one day I'll be there, one day April will be there, and the other day Queen Azoilis. All great characters, fun, lovely people. I promise you. I promise you.
Yes. All the Alpha X casters. You've been around for a while.
Yeah.
For a long time.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of people know about the Alpha X's, and well, they've seen a lot of the YouTube videos and stuff like that. King of Battles is a big one that comes by, but some of us are still kind of doing this as a smaller hobby, and still providing some little pocket change to some of these Korean players now and again. Just because StarCraft 2 is great, man. StarCraft 2 is a lot of fun, and I get distracted quickly, but casting is one of the ways I can fully get all my attention on this beautiful sports, and it's just a great time. It's a great time, man. Yeah, that's all I'll say about it. I'm mumbling, stumbling. It's all right.
One final thing here, of course we can find your casting over on Soup. We can find you covering some big Korean names, but I believe you also have a Twitch channel, and do we have any potential streams on the horizon, Mr. Kozan? Maybe.
Oh dear. Well, maybe I'll do some drawing streams or something like that. Something, I don't know. It probably won't be StarCraft
2. Okay.
That's the thing. Like my StarCraft 2 skills are not fantastic, right? I've reached Master Leagues a couple of times, but never really high up. And then I was like, man, this game, there's now too much to do, and it's too hectic. Yeah. But yeah, stuff like that. Probably not, but I'm very inconsistent with it. I would, the Supers thing, that's kind of where my heart lies. I like those people. I would like to, yeah.
Fair enough. So check him out. Yeah, check him out over on Soup. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. So the next time we see you is going to be next weekend. Beyond versus Creator.
This Thursday, actually. This Thursday, that's at 12 p.m. CET, and that is at 8 p.m. KST. Although there's probably not a lot of Korean people watching right now.
They're there. It's all good.
They're there, yeah, really.
Yeah, I saw Home in the chat earlier. I saw Lunacy in the chat earlier as well. Some of the players. Sure, they'll drop by.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Well, maybe they watch me sometimes as well.
Yeah,
that could happen.
Sure, they do.
Lovely.
And maybe some drawing streams in the future. What do you draw? Any kind of do you have a theme for what you try to draw, or?
What I try to draw. Right now, I make a lot of heads. I like to make cartoon heads, stuff like that. I can hold on. I can give you a quick little picture here. There's nothing vulgar. I drew something on the Home Story Cup as well.
Okay. But, you had to emphasize that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a cow.
There's a cow. There's some Marines as well. But yeah, right now I just like to just mess about and figure out different drawing styles for cartoons and see what the shapes do when you just mess about with them a bit more. And see how far you can push things with the shapes of themselves. It's drawing stuff, right?
Yeah. For sure. Looks good.
That sort of things.
I'll say that Marine is being very unsafe with that chainsaw, by the way.
Yes, he is.
Oh my god. He is. Be careful, man. Be careful. But meanwhile, for those that are tuning in, for those that maybe want some more of the Cranky Ducklings, then you can check us out over on our YouTube channel as well. We do stream here on Twitch, we stream on YouTube, we stream on TikTok, Facebook, we're all over the place, all things Cranky Ducklings. We just wrapped up with our Sparkling Tuna Cup, and we will be returning tomorrow with the Wardy TV Monday. That is going to be in around 23 hours time, so just under 24 hours. We're going to be back, we're going to be live with the Wardy TV Monday. Likewise, throughout the week, we have the OC Season 12 Championship, we have KSL, we have the Pigasaur Monday, Lima League, and many other tournaments. Again, we are live here on a daily basis, typically twice a day as well, so plenty of content, plenty of casting, plenty of StarCraft here on the Cranky Ducklings, and we might even see the return of Kozan in the future as well. It was a lovely time, and we're always happy to have you on. Always happy to have a fellow caster on the channel.
Nice, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, like, if you have something that seems cool, I probably won't do like a weekly thing, but yeah, I mean, it's fun. I definitely would love to come back.
Oh, good. Oh, good. With that, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Wardy TV Monday. Otherwise, at Kozan, do you have anything else you want to say before we head off for the night?
Thank you very much. Like, honestly, I want to emphasize it. It's appreciated, man. I asked you to help me out here, get some more publicity on the Super Sevens, and get me in on a lovely day with some StarCraft 2 casting with you. And you're just always ever so polite, ever so pleasant, and it's appreciated, man. It really is.
Always, Pappy, always there to help out, always. Again, we have a lot of close ties with the people over on Alpha X, and we've casted together before as well. So yeah, with that, thanks so much everyone for watching, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, Papi, ciao. Hasta luego.